How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right, like she said, my name is Brett Williams. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I'm a felon and a business owner.
Yeah.
I have a unique perspective in that sense. I've been working with Together Colorado for about 4 years now. And my brother Will asked me to come speak at this because he had a front row seat with basically what I was going through in my life with my job, employment situation, housing, everything. There's a couple things I want to bring up, and I want you guys to pay attention to. Two things is empathy and breaking points. That's what I kind of want everybody to pay attention to. I was convicted of first-degree assault when I was 18 years old and sentenced to 20 years in prison. The first thing I want everybody to understand about me is I'm not a victim. I don't blame anybody for my actions or anything I ever did. I earned my way into prison. You know what I mean? I deserved to be there, and I got what I had coming to me. So once I came to that realization and I understood that, you know, what I had been putting out into the world and victimizing people, you know, I got what I had coming to me. So I at that point, I guess, is when I really came to understand empathy. And I put myself in other people's shoes, in my victim's shoes, in my, you know, many victims' shoes. And had to ask myself, you know, how would it feel? You know, how would it feel to be in that situation? And that's something I never thought about. I never took time to think about somebody else being in somebody else's shoes. So I went through prison. I did 10 years altogether. I did my best to try to, like I said, I realized that I wasn't living right. So I did my best to try to figure out ways to better my life. And it was kind of messed up in there for me because I had so much time. So when you try to get into vocational programs and everything in the joint, the way they would do me was I come in and say, you know, I need to get in something. And well, because I had so much time, they would always put me on a waiting list. And they would say, you know, these cats, well, it kind of makes sense. They would say, these dudes are getting out before you. You know, Williams, you're not going anywhere for a while. So, you know, take this mop, you know, go mop something, go work in this kitchen, whatever. I'm like, all right. Make a long story short, I didn't get any skills in there. You know, I read like you wouldn't believe, you know what I mean? Did my best to change my life with, you know, any tools I had. But I still felt like in a lot of people around me, all my homeboys and, you know, whatnot, you know, you gonna be all right, man, you smart, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah. Well, I severely underestimated a few things, and one of them was institutionalization, and the other was how hard it was gonna be to find a job, find a house out here. I had no idea. When Will asked me to do this, he made me think about a lot of different situations, everything I went through, and you know, we talked about it. They brought up housing, and I was like, man, I looked at it, and every job, I'm a violent felon, so I'm a different class of felon, you know what I mean? I can't even get jobs, they get felons, you know what I mean? I get turned down at the felon-friendly jobs, you know what I mean? I don't get callbacks for that. And like I said, that's been tough, you know what I mean? There's never, I'm not gonna say never been an avenue, but the avenues are just, they're not there. Any job I've ever had, it was basically through a homeboy hookup, basically where, you know, one of my homeboys was like, hey, you can come get hired down here. You know what I mean? They'll hire you, blah, blah, blah. And that's, I don't know, I probably had 6, 8 jobs since I've been out of prison, and every last one of them have been through a homeboy. Housing as well, same thing, I could never find a house. That's almost as hard as finding a job. It's absolutely insane. I mean, more people discriminate on that than they do at jobs. There's almost nowhere for felons to live out here, period. You know what I mean? I talked earlier about breaking points. I got this, I talked to you about this job that got me into the business that I'm in now. I was in a halfway house, and I'm talking to this white dude, he has a pipe wrench tattooed on his forearm. I said, you work with pipe wrench? He's like, yeah. I was like, me too. You used to work for Northwest Pipe. I mean, he used to do things every day. And he was like, well, you got a job? I said, nah, man. He's like, you know, I've been applying, going out on job search every day, just wasting time, you know what I mean? So he's like, come down where I'm at, you know what I mean? I can open up a pipeline side, maybe get hired. So I was like, all right, went down there and I got hired. I started off as a laborer making like $13 an hour in the trench. And I mean, in the trenches literally, because it's an underground plumbing. So we dig up the streets, you know, all that. I was making $13 an hour. You know, that, it was tough too. It was real tough. You know what I mean? It was not a lot of money, hard work. Working is one thing, but digging is something completely, yeah, it's a whole nother level of work. So needless to say, I was, getting frustrated with it, but I used to always get at my sales boss, say, when you gonna make me a salesman? When you gonna make me a salesman? Because I always felt like I'd probably make more money with my mouth than I could with my back. Because when you gonna make me a salesman, you always just kind of, brush me off. So they had a situation where one of their salesmen left and started his own excavation company. Now he was making 60 a year flat. So they're kind of reeling, looking for a body to fill the gap. And so my boss comes to me, he's like, you still want to be a salesman? I was like, hell yeah. And he was like, cut your hair. I had hair all the way down to, the middle of my back. And I was just kind of like, my hair was like my friend. My hair had been through prison with me, all that, you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know. And so I literally had to go home, talk to my wife, and put it on Facebook. Like, what do y'all think I should do? You know what I mean? What do y'all think I should do? And everybody's like, cut your hair. And so I cut my hair, you know what I mean? I was freaked out about it too, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna look like an idiot. Cut my hair, got the job. Went through just ridiculous ups and downs with these people. They always, they brought me on, I missed this part, but they brought me, I was making $13 an hour in a trench. They brought me on as a salesman, which is a promotion. They moved me from $13 an hour in the trench and put me on salary at $13 an hour. I was getting overtime in the trench. Yeah, I was getting overtime in the trench, so I was able to generate time and a half. Salary, I'm not getting that. And I'm a salesman, so I'm just running. My bosses are drunk, both my bosses are drunk. So they stay in the bar all day and send me to do everything. So I'm just running, bam, all day. For example, we were talking about breaking points earlier. I put 60,000 miles on my personal car in 18 months running for this company. I'll tell you, the kind of just going all day. I ran, for that company, the most cameras I ran in a day was I think 13. And that's, I would go all over the city in a day. It's just ridiculous. I don't know if you guys remember the flood. I'm sure everybody remembers the flood. We just had the biblical flood like a couple years ago. Well, we were like one of the only houses in Aurora that got affected by it, especially on our block. So I had got to a point in my life, like I said, I was pretty much at my breaking point. I was just, I talked to Will about it, and it's like, hey man, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I got to figure something out, you know what I mean? Like, I have got to figure something out. And like I said, I was at that point. I'm dealing with my house being a swamp in the basement. Then the person that I got the house from, they work with felons, so you can automatically assume if they work with felons, there's going to be corners cut, period. They didn't want to do what they needed to do to repair the house and get it up to par. Basically, like I said, I was at my breaking point. I was tired of this company. They wouldn't help me. I went to them and pretty much just told them, I walked in there, handed dudes my keys and told them, thanks for the opportunity, I'm out of here. And dude told me bye, so I was out of there. I left there without a pot to, what in or a window to throw it out of. And I didn't know what I was gonna do, so I called my people and they're like, what are you gonna do? I was like, well, I need to find some money. I need to find some money. And if I do that, I can get this camera and I can start my own thing. Well, I said, well, call your grandpa. So I called my grandpa and, rest in peace, he gave me the money. He gave me $8,000, I was able to start my business. And I really ain't looked back since, Every time I come to something and I speak, I always tell, they always ask me where I'm from and who I represent. I represent East Denver. And that's what I tell people. So I speak for myself and I speak for my people that's going through what I'm going through. And not all of them are as lucky as I am. I keep bringing up breaking points, and this is what I want people to understand is where we come from, we're given certain skills, and these are all the skills we have. We don't have a bunch. So I see it all the time. 80% of the guys that come out of prison genuinely want to come out here and do the right thing. They have every intention to get out. You got the 20% that they're on their way out here to pick up a crack sack and a gun and go at it. It doesn't matter. You have that, like I said, but you have that 80% that wants to do something different. Every day I see my guys falling off out here, picking up drug sacks, getting killed, going back to the pen, whatever it is. I see it happening every day. And it's sad to me because I get to see the inside, the other side that these people don't see of career gang members actually getting out there saying, you know what, I want to do something different. And there's just, they don't, not everybody has somebody they can go to and get $8,000 to start a business. almost none of my homeboys do. You know what I mean? I was blessed in that sense. So like I said, I have a unique story, but my story could be just like just like everybody else's. And it's crazy. I don't know if you guys have been seeing what's going on with on the news with all the officers getting shot and everything, and then now the parole officers are back behind hidden dark lights again, talking about, oh, well, we shouldn't be letting guys out of prison and everything. And it's horrible because, me and my wife talked about it this morning, and people get to these breaking points, and like I said, they don't have any other skills. They don't have any other skills, and we talk about gangs, and you talk about the street life and all that, and you say you can't get out of it. Nobody's holding a gun to me telling me I have to come to gang meetings or commit crimes or anything like that. It's you, it's up here. We can't break out of that criminal mentality. And we try to, but it's always gonna be there because that's what we are, that's where we come from. So when you're getting out here and you're trying and every door is being slammed in your face, you know what I mean? What is the next step when you have kids that need to be fed? For somebody that their whole life has been criminal activity, what do you think they're gonna do? And so they do what the system knows we're gonna do. They send us out there and know what we're gonna do. And then they say, well, they should have never let him out of prison. They said, well, we should have never let him out of prison. And this is my thing. When the guy got out of prison, he was all right, but you slammed every door in his face. You slammed every absolute door in his face that you could. And it's crazy because it said we should have never let him out of prison. And you were okay letting him out of prison. He was fine. All he needed was a fair chance. And that's what we're here to ask for. Thank you.